An officer asks you, "Are you armed?" And in that split second, your brain scrambles between two instincts. Tell the truth and risk everything escalating, or stay quiet and risk looking like you're hiding something even more dangerous. Most people get this wrong in ways that either put them in physical danger or hand over information that legally didn't need to be given at all. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through exactly what this question actually means, why your answer matters more than almost anything else said during a stop, the specific mistakes that make this moment worse, and the exact way to respond that keeps you safe both physically and legally. Calm, quick disclaimer before we start. I'm not an attorney, and this video is not legal advice. This is for educational purposes only. Let's start with something almost nobody understands about this exact question. It's not really about information gathering the way it sounds. This question exists primarily for officer safety purposes. It's asked early, often before anything else has even happened, because the answer directly affects how the rest of the interaction unfolds from a safety standpoint on both sides. Understanding this changes how you should think about answering it. Here's the first mistake almost everyone makes, and it's the most dangerous one on this list. They pause too long before answering, or they visibly hesitate, trying to decide what to say. In this specific moment, hesitation reads very differently than it would in a normal conversation. A pause here can be interpreted as calculating a lie, or worse, as a sign someone is deciding whether to act. The safest thing you can do before anything else is respond promptly without a long pause, regardless of what your actual answer is. The second mistake is answering with unnecessary detail. Yes, I have a gun, it's registered, I have a permit, it's in the glove box, I got it for home protection. Every additional piece of information beyond a direct answer creates more that can be misheard, misremembered, or misused later. A direct, brief answer is always safer than an explanation nobody asked for yet. The third mistake, and this is critical, making any sudden movement while answering, even an instinctive one, like reaching toward a pocket, a glove box, or a waistband to demonstrate where something is. This is one of the most dangerous reactions possible in this exact moment. Movement toward anything, even with completely good intentions, can be misread in a split second as a threat, and split-second misreadings are exactly what turn a routine stop into something far worse. The fourth mistake is getting defensive or annoyed at being asked, "Why does it matter?" Or "That's a weird question." Even mild irritation here changes the tone of an already tense moment, and tone matters enormously in an interaction where safety is actively being assessed in real time by the person you're speaking with. Here's exactly what you do instead, and I want you to picture this clearly, because the sequence matters as much as the words. Keep your hands visible, ideally on the steering wheel or clearly in view. Don't move them at all while answering, and respond clearly and promptly. "Yes, I am," or "No, I'm not." If the answer is yes, follow immediately with, "I'm not reaching for it, let me know how you'd like me to proceed." Then wait for instruction before moving anything at all. Let's talk about why this specific sequence works, because understanding the reasoning is what makes this usable under real pressure, not just something you nod along to right now. Keeping your hands still and visible removes ambiguity immediately. There's nothing left to interpret about your intentions in that moment. Answering promptly and directly removes the appearance of hesitation or calculation. And explicitly stating you're not reaching for anything, then asking for instruction, transfers the next move to the officer clearly, which reduces the chance of any movement being misread on either side. Here's something worth understanding about the psychology of this exact moment, because it explains why so many people, even completely law-abiding people, get this wrong under pressure. Adrenaline in a tense moment often triggers an instinct to explain, to prove innocence quickly, to demonstrate compliance through action rather than words. But in this specific scenario, action is exactly what carries the most risk, while words, said clearly and calmly, carry almost none. Recognizing that instinct in yourself ahead of time is what allows you to override it when it actually counts. Let's go through some specific variations of this scenario, because small differences in context change what matters most, even though the core response stays fundamentally the same. Scenario 1. You're legally carrying in a state or area where this is fully permitted and possibly required to disclose. If you're not certain whether disclosure is required in your specific area, the safest default is still the same. Answer directly, keep hands visible, don't reach, and let the officer guide the next step. Uncertainty about the specific requirement doesn't change the safest way to physically handle the moment. Scenario 2. You're asked this question after already being asked several other questions, and you're unsure if this one is different from the others. It is. Almost every other question during a stop can be politely declined without physical risk. This specific question about whether you're armed is different. A direct, honest, prompt answer here is about physical safety first, legal considerations second. Scenario 3. There's a passenger in the vehicle who is armed, not you. State this clearly and immediately. The same way, my passenger has a firearm, we're not reaching for it. The same principles apply regardless of who in the vehicle the question is really about. Scenario 4. The firearm is not immediately accessible, locked in a trunk, in a case, unloaded. Even in this situation, the answer stays the same. Confirm its presence clearly, keep your hands visible, and let the officer guide what happens next. The exact location or accessibility of the item is a detail to clarify after the initial safety-focused exchange, not before it. Scenario 5. You're asked this question unexpectedly, outside of a vehicle context entirely, during a different kind of encounter altogether. The same core principle holds regardless of setting. Answer promptly, keep hands visible, don't reach toward anything, and let the moment be guided by clear communication rather than movement. Let's talk about something people wonder about but rarely ask directly. Does answering honestly here somehow work against you? In the vast majority of situations, an honest, calm, prompt answer paired with visibly still hands is what de-escalates this moment fastest. The danger in this specific scenario rarely comes from the answer itself. It comes from hesitation, movement, or unclear communication surrounding the answer. Here's a layer worth understanding about tone specifically, because it matters just as much here as anywhere else. "Yes, I am," said flatly and calmly, is very different from the same words said nervously, quickly, almost apologetically. A steady, even tone signals composure. A rushed, nervous tone, even with the exact same words, can unintentionally signal something else entirely. This is genuinely one of those moments where practicing the tone, not just the words, matters. Now let's talk about what happens immediately afterward, once the situation has fully de-escalated, because documentation still matters here, just as it does in any other encounter. As soon as it's safe and appropriate, note exactly what was asked, exactly how you responded, and how the rest of the interaction proceeded from that point. If anything about the encounter felt off, or if there was any physical contact or escalation despite following this approach, that detail matters significantly if the situation needs to be reviewed later. Let's bring this together with the full sequence one more time. Because in a moment where physical safety is genuinely on the line, having this rehearsed clearly is what makes it usable under real pressure, not just understandable in a calm video. When asked if you're armed, keep your hands visible and still. Answer promptly and directly, yes or no, without extra explanation. If the answer is yes, immediately state that you're not reaching for anything and ask how they'd like you to proceed. Wait for clear instruction before moving anything at all. Stay calm, stay clear, and let your words do the communicating, not your movements. This entire approach exists for one reason: to get you through one of the most physically sensitive moments an encounter like this can involve, as safely as possible for everyone involved. This isn't about memorizing a script for the sake of a legal outcome. This is about survival first, and everything else comes after that. This video is for educational purposes only, not legal advice. Subscribe for more videos breaking down high-stakes situations most people never think to prepare for until they're already happening.